Now we have an Indigenous prayer service led by the Mi'kmaq elder Billy Lewis. Would you come up, please? Yeah. Billy Lewis is an urban Indigenous elder who has been active in various social and spiritual communities. His experience in these communities inform his approach to the needs of urban Aboriginals and the struggle for social justice for all people. Billy Lewis.
Well, I can't exactly say I'm prepared because every time somebody spoke, something new come to mind. But the first thing I would like to do is what we often do anyway in all of our gatherings, all of our ceremonies, is to give thanks, to say thank you to each and every one, especially the people that presented here today. Robin for all the work that he did, including chasing me for abstracts and written things. And as he knows, and others who know me know, I'm more of a storyteller than a writer. And for me to sit down and write up a whole thing that I'm going to say, it never happens that way. It always just comes through me at the time based on what's going on around me pretty much. And that's kind of what's going to happen today too, and especially for giving thanks because, well, Robin for all the work that he did, the committee that pulled it together, Kathy for the words that she shared this morning in getting us to recognize, and I would emphasize that at this point actually, that before Canada existed as a country, we had treaties that we signed. And what all those treaties did, and what the Truth and Reconciliation calls for, is to recognize the land that we're on. We are on not only traditional Mi'kmaq territory, but we're on unceded Mi'kmaq territory. Nobody gave up anything. We welcomed, and we share this land together as we do today. And it's very important to recognize that because as the Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls for us all to come together and learn from each other, not to have it imposed, as one of the brothers said a while ago, you can't impose a religion or a way of life, but to come to a mutual understanding of what we share in common. And that's what we have to do at this time, and the calls for action from the TRC does just that. I'm part of an elders program, elders in residence at Dalhousie, and part of putting on a blanket exercise. There's many ways we have of working with each other, but I think what I would pray for at this time, that we come to an understanding not just of what happened to the Mi'kmaq people and other people around the world as a result of that colonial system, but to recognize what we have to share, what we have to contribute to each other. And we have a lot to contribute to each other, and every single faith group has that they say. Like a number of people have spoken about the heart and the mind. Well, one of my friends many years ago said the biggest distance in the world is not between here and some far-off country, but between here and here. That's the longest distance. And however, when I do an opening sometimes with the smudge here, we offer it to the 7 sacred directions. We offer it to the 4 winds of the different directions, to the heaven, to the sky. And what we do is we call up, in the smudge itself, there, just like the sister was just mentioning here, there are 4 sacred plants the cedar, the sweetgrass, the sage, and the tobacco. And the tobacco has no other purpose but to give thanks. We carry that with us all the time. And if we're out hunting or someone invites us to a gathering to give us tobacco. And then that tobacco, I take it home and have a special place where I burn it and send it off to all of creation. All these things are that a lot of faiths share in common, this way of remembering how everything is connected. And then we also say, when it comes to the mind and the heart, that when we're gathered in a circle, no one can interrupt another, but we always speak from the heart. That means don't overanalyze it. Don't respond to what someone else said around the circle, but just say what's in your heart in an honest and a good way. And what we mean by that good way is not in a negative way, but just in a positive way, because whatever needs to be said before it's gone around that whole circle, whatever needs to be said will be said. And so speaking from the heart, and the heart is where everything comes from. And the sister previously was speaking of that when she said in or out, that we have what we call the 7 teachings, and there are a number of them: love, strength, and humility, and the other ones, which I can't repeat right now because I can't remember. But the central one that goes right in the center, you have a center and then 6 all around the outside. That central one is love. That's the key to all the other ones. And isn't that what everyone in this circle has said today? And that we have to encourage that right relations with ourselves, within our heart, and with each other. And I'm just trying to glance at my notes here, but I don't think it'll make any sense. And she also mentioned the different ceremonies that happening within the Jewish tradition. The rabbi said of the new moon. Well, if we were more in tune with the natural rhythms of the earth, the moons, the sunrise in the morning, the sun setting in the evening, all of the things that are reflected in nature, we'd be more in touch with ourselves. And I think that's what I would share with us today, and ask that we all remember that it's what we have in common that means more to us than where we differ. And as a matter of fact, we should be not just accommodating and accepting differences, but we should be welcoming it, because the differences is what makes us human. It's what brings us all together, as was said another time this morning there. So we should be welcoming those differences just as we would welcome the flowers of the field, because they're all different colors. That we respect those differences and honor those differences, and not emphasize them as a way of dividing us. And so as long as we are one in all of creation, God, Allah, whatever you call it, then we can bring about the peace that we need in this world. And I don't think there's any other way to do it. And that may be a funny sounding prayer, but that's what I would say today, and ask us all to come together with a good mind and with respect for each other and recognition of the land we're on, and accept what Indigenous people have to contribute to that knowledge today. We do it in some of our ceremonies. We have a blanket exercise. We have circles that we share. We do it in the justice field with restorative justice. All Indigenous people and all people have something to contribute if they all come together and do it together. And I think that's it. So, and then we usually end too with like I say, the Frankie, my friend there, said that the first prayer was thank you. It was 2 words, thank you. Well, I always tease him and say, you know, you forgot. It's only one word in Mi'kmaq, it's Walalan. But whether it's one or two words, it's giving thanks for what creation has given us, and giving thanks for being blessed with each other's presence. Walalan, Walaliok, thank you.
Thank you, Billy. And we conclude this session of 6 forms of worship, of religious worship. And we can see the connectivity, which has a common bond that has the same conclusion. So I'd like to turn the mic to Kim, who will direct us to the next part of our session. Thank you.
So much thanks for the 3 who have shared with their tradition. Thank you so much. And thank you also, Therese.